Deja Harris. The Sooners go to work right into Reagan Beers, up and in. You're going to see a lot of that if they allow her that kind of position.
Well, that's one of the things Jenny Baranczyk wants to establish right off the tip is that inside game. And speaking of Courtney Paris, look at Reagan Beers and what she brings to this Sooner basketball team.
Is that about as close a comparison as you can draw?
Yeah, unless you go to the league and look.
Reagan Beers, 72% shooting on the year, first in the SEC.
Nice look.
That is a three, as behind the line was Justina Graham to give Alabama State the lead.
Well, Graham had a really big game the other night against Oklahoma State, and that's a great way to start.
Skylar Vann knocks down the three. Skylar 15 against UNLV when she went over 1,500 points. The fifth Oklahoma Sooner to do so. You saw the starting lineup with Beers and Vann, Peyton Verhulst, and Nevaeh Tot make
gauntlet of a schedule right now.
Peyton Verhulst, what a three-point tear that she is on. Peyton Verhulst is shooting better than 50% from three-point range this year.
Well, we said that in the opening, right? We're going to say her name a lot, and she's an incredible player.
She has made 18 of her last 34 from downtown. Three-point Sooner lead. Shot clock is late for the Hornets, and that one rims out for Justina Graham, who made a three a moment ago.
Did, and you know, that's part of their journey right now in this preseason, and you want to play teams like they did against Duke, going in overtime, Louisville, which was an incredible game, as we mentioned, and that gets people to watch in November and December, and that's how you grow the game of women's basketball.
Lob up top to Beers from Tot, and she scores her second field goal.
Yeah, Alabama State has no answer for Reagan Beers at 6'4" inside, and they're going to have to draw. And
he's got to shoulder some of the scoring load.
Hey, I get it. I mean, last season, that's their starting point guard, the leader on this team, and their best defender. And so I know that she's excited to have her back, as you mentioned, in a couple of weeks.
4 fresh sets of legs on the floor for Jenny Baranczyk and the Sooners. Zia Vann, Lexi Keys, Beatrice Culleton are all out there with Liz Scott. And that pull-up and pop drops once again. Good start offensively for the Hornets. They've made 5 out of their first 7 from the field. Minutes and performed extremely well. Had 3 straight double-figure games, including at Wichita State and at UNLV.
And a freshman playing against teams with more experience, to be honest. It was a great road trip.
Only 5 to shoot here for the Hornets. This is Alana Pooler. And they will get it away. I think Liz Scott might have blocked that effort from Franklin, and it'll be a shot clock violation.
Well, that's one thing with this rotation of players.
Got dribbling that out of bounds to the ire of Jenny Baranczyk, looking at Liz Scott there.
I almost think she has at times the Pat Summitt look, the stare down.
Yes.
That you just know. She's not saying anything, but you just know.
And it's fun to see Liz Scott, having been around now for 4 years with Coach Baranczyk. She really doesn't even look over there. She knows what the message is.
No, she does, and she knows that Jenny loves her very much, and so that's why she'll run through a brick wall for her. Mentioned is that what Reagan, great shot there, but Reagan Beers brings to the defensive side. It allows Skylar Vann and other guards to be really aggressive around the perimeter because they know they have a 6'4" rim protector behind them to help them out.
Sooners by 7. It's their largest lead here in the opening period. 3 minutes to play. Smith falls away and misses that one. Raina Scott making an impact off the bench so far this afternoon. Sooners get a reset here. Raina Scott,
pass.
Beautiful dump down, but Beers' shot is blocked and saved by Harris. Here comes Bryant. Bumps into Raina Scott. It'll be an offensive foul. Nicely done there by Raina Scott.
Well, way to turn that negative possession into a positive one. You got to love players that will sacrifice their bodies for their team, and those are momentum changers, as you saw the bench.
Sooners get a reset here. Raina Scott,
pass.
Beautiful dump down, but Beers' shot is blocked and saved by Harris. Here comes Bryant. Bumps into Raina Scott. It'll be an offensive foul. Nicely done there by Raina Scott.
Well, way to turn that negative possession into a positive one. You got to love players that will sacrifice their bodies for their team, and those are momentum changers. As you saw the bench,
at every level, it just is.
Yeah, we always talk about. That's why I bragged on Graham the other night. She was just knocking down mid-range shots. You just don't see that. The mid-range game is obsolete with a lot of teams, and so it's either layups or it's three-point play, and it's fun. Fans love it.
They do.
Yeah, I would have loved it back in the day.
And it felt like maybe for a few years the shooting percentage hadn't caught up with the Bishop State Community College. Spent 2 seasons there. The discussion continues with Fatu Sissoko-Stephen and Jennie Baranczyk.
Well, she's fighting for her team. We all do that, and so she's hopefully she got a great explanation.
And that is what it's all about. She's going to fight tooth and nail for her players, is Jennie Baranczyk. What a culture they have built at Oklahoma.
It's unbelievable. When I looked at the roster starting this season, where the ball was going to come off, and to get that extra offensive possession, great job by Nevaeh.
So 11 returners. You bring in the All-American Reagan Beers and the 2 freshmen in Zia Vann and Kaya Smith. And there's your roster.
Yeah, Reagan Beers. I mean, the #1 transfer in the offseason came from Oregon State, averaging a double-double. Great addition. Impressed with Alabama State right now, coming in very confident shooting. They only average 44 points per game, and they're already at 23 here in the first half.
That's going to be a foul against Zia Vann, and that will be her first. That's only the second against Oklahoma here in the second quarter.
Well, I know Jenny's excited about that because the other night against Louisville, seen them to continue to try to get her and feed her the ball just like that.
How'd you know that was going to happen? How did you know?
I saw Reagan Beers working too hard down there, and she's so fundamental. I mean, she's the timing of the duck in just now to go make contact with the defense and keep her lead hand away boy, she's good. She's really good.
So take us through that, the timing of the duck in.
Yeah, I mean, usually you want, when the ball's dribbled over, you don't want it to go past. There's a little hint there where she brings that basketball down a little bit. She needs to keep it up, but then again, she drew the foul, and now she's at the free throw line. So if she missed it or got blocked, I would have said that a little bit more with authority.
She has expanded her range, made a couple of 3-point shots this year. Hasn't taken that many, but she has shown the ability to step out on the floor.
Well, one of the reasons, Jenny told me.
And Aubrey Jones continues it with her second 3.
It doesn't matter who Jennie Baranczyk brings into this game. They are ready to shoot, and Alabama State is going to have to make an adjustment. Either trap, run them off the line. They've got to decide, are they going to give up the 3 or the 2?
Oklahoma set to sub in 4 more players. As Amani Wofford.
Jennie Baranczyk is going to continue to let them look for that high low.
Sooners have hit 66. The program record in a half is 67 points.
67. We have 1:16 left. I think they're going to do it, Chad. Alabama State pulling it out for just a ball screen, looking for a quick attack with 9 seconds on the shot clock.
68 first half. Hornets to begin half number 2. Amari Franklin coast to coast for 2.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Jennie Baranczyk did not draw that up at halftime. I mean, that's not what you want to see coming out starting this third quarter.
Sooners go with their same starting 5. Alabama State with Ashley Gray out there, Justina Graham. We saw Amari Franklin with the run through. Sahara Williams off the mark with that one. And great conference play. So they're not going to change their style because of what the scoreboard may look like today. It's not about today, it's about the long haul for this team.
Well, she told us, Chad, that she breaks the season into 3 chapters: preseason, SWAC season, and then postseason. And she keeps these players fighting no matter what the score is, and she keeps them in perspective. Like, we're playing these big teams for a reason to better institutions. I just haven't seen that from an Oklahoma team in a while, and so the depth is just unbelievable, and it's really going to help them in SEC play.
That foul is on Nevaeh Tot. That's her first.
Yeah, just got a little bit late, got caught watching the ball and stepped too slow, caused that foul. And, you know, some coaches, Chad, would say make sure they don't get an and one, you know, or, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I know that she's not going to be satisfied with those easy leak out baskets.
This one on the way from Hall is off the mark.
Well, Chad, again, what great defense, staying away from the offensive player, so the official would not call a foul. But I love how the Sooners, there's always someone different leaking out, looking for the pass. But Nevaeh Tot, assistant for Mom.
And, you know, she is so, she's watched the growth of this sport as Frida Freeman Jackson. She just said, amazing to see the grace and courage of young women in the sport and what it has done. Look at Zia Vann all the way from end to end for the Deuce.
Yeah, she's got a little spunk about her. I mean, she's got a quick first step, can get out ahead of the defense, finish under traffic. Nice job. The ball inside, either to the high post or the low post, and play inside out. And right now, they're being, you know, around the perimeter. You've got to puncture it to get open looks.
Alabama State trying to find some offense. Just 4 points so far here in this period. And a traveling violation there. We'll send it the other way.
Well, right idea from Alabama State. Oklahoma is playing behind the post play.
Such a talented player, 3-time high school state champion. And Zia Vann has moved right in and played extended minutes as a true freshman. This is an 11-0 Oklahoma run in the last 4 minutes. And they have held Alabama State to just 34% from the field overall.
Chad, I remember taking my Oklahoma City team to Baylor, and that's when Kim Mulkey was there, Brittany Griner, and that high-pace offense. But I'm going to brag on their defense. Their defense has really stepped up this season, and that's going to win them a lot of basketball games.
Without question. Opponents on the year shooting just 33% against Oklahoma. That's a top 5 number in the SEC. And they're one of 3 teams in the top 12 nationals coming here for Aubrey.
That all started with Beatrice getting that offensive rebound and another kick out. But what was great with Aubrey Jones is that she saw the back foot of the defender open wide, and she attacked it. And when you do that, it takes away the recovery step of the defender. Great job by Aubrey Jones.
She's 2 of 3 from 3-point range today. This is her first trip to the foul line. 8 now here in this period, 19 points with under a minute left. It's a lot of lineup shuffling. We see Landry Allen in for the first time, the sophomore forward from just down the road, Tuttle, Oklahoma. And Kaya Smith, the freshman from Oklahoma City, Putnam West.
Nice.
Nice ball screen there, creates the 3 for Taylor Smith off the mark. Shot clock is off so far this year.
Yeah, they're going to have to defend, and you can see right there on screen, you know, Jenny in the ear of the official, but you got to still fight. I mean, your players are an extension of you, and they've got to see you fighting for them, even though the score's 87-35. You got to plead your case.
Caitlin Bryant off the mark there. Verhulst is back in for Oklahoma. Look at her end to end and laying that thing up and in.
Oh, Peyton, and Oklahoma gave her everything that she needs, and this is the best time of her life playing basketball here in this program.
It's not just doing that right there. It's the holistic approach that Oklahoma has. As you said, the physical nature of this sport creates mental health needs, nutritional needs, all those sorts of things.
Whatever they need.
And Oklahoma's got it for them. Peyton Verhulst, 13 points, couple of assists to Franklin. Alabama State still playing hard despite the large deficit.
Yeah, that's one thing they will do that I have seen from this team. They do not play the scoreboard. Chad, they're playing for something bigger.
Lexi Keys a little short on that try. Keys has been a huge part of the story today, though she's 3 of 5 from three-point range.
I mean, she's a player that could start at most teams, you know, and to have possibly might give them a few extra points. That defense turns into their offense.
How important is that to see different styles and different types of defenses and different looks on offense?
It's extremely important, and that's why Jenny Baranczyk is doing it. Is, you know, you want to see those different styles, the versatile teams. It only better prepares a team for the postseason, and that's, again, part of their story and their journey this season.
Holdover through, you think about the Maddie Williams, Taylor Robertson teams, and Ani Anusa that they had. Skylar played with all of them. She's kind of been that connector to this new wave of talent that Jenny Baranczyk's brought in.
Whoa, that's an incredible point. I mean, all those former players, and Skylar was a part of that. And to have her leadership, she's definitely, you know, we always talk about point guards being the extension of the coach on the floor. Well, she is definitely that in just a different position. Skylar Vann they have, like I said, they have been on the road for a long time, similar to the Sooners.
Beatrice Scott returns for Oklahoma. We hit the 3-minute mark. First ever meeting between these two teams. And it has been a lopsided Oklahoma victory. There's Raina Scott.
Oh, took it a little bit. Men's side, it was 14-2.
Yeah.
ACC.
Men's side, it was dominated by the SEC on the men's side, including Oklahoma getting a win over Georgia Tech here at the Lloyd Noble Center in the
Did you call that?
I did not call that.
You were bragging on that team.
Porter Moser's team, unbeaten start for them, and up to number 21 in the national polls. Oklahoma with men's and women's teams in the top 25.
What's in the water?
That is the fourth, though, in the period, so no free throws here for Alabama State. And always a teacher, Frida Freeman Jackson.
Yes, she is. Talk about not jumping in the transfer pool.